Today we'll be playing with really combining our intentions and words with body movements and breath, and not just yoga asana, but really just playing with hand movements and ways to embody our words and our intentions. And so what we're exploring today is the Vayahafta prayer. And in our Siddur, I tend to really enjoy the poetic version of prayers that are on the left side of the Hebrew and the transliteration. And so for the Vayahafta, there's this beautiful reading, and what I'm going to invite you to do is to just mindfully, slowly mirror my movements as I read through the prayer, and notice what resonates with you. Notice words that might stand out for you. Notice how the movement of your body might help you to deepen in your experience of the prayer itself. So start with your hands on your heart. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Let your hands rest on your heart and take a few breaths. This is from Jack Kornfield, who wrote A Path with Heart. He says, all spiritual teachings are in vain if we cannot love. Even the most exalted states and the most exceptional spiritual accomplishments are unimportant if we cannot be happy in the most basic and ordinary ways. If with our hearts we cannot touch one another and the life we have been given. What matters is how we live. This is why it is so difficult and so important to ask this question of ourselves. Am I living my path fully? Do I live without regret? So that we can say on whatever day is the end of our life, yes, I have lived my path with heart. I have lived my path with heart and with love. I have loved well. I have lived well. So today we will combine some heart opening with some core strengthening. Because without our core activated, the core of our body, we can't move efficiently, we can't move functionally, we can't make an impact on the world around us, right? If we can't actually have access to our core. And just as that's true for the body, if we don't have access to our hearts, if we don't have access to the love that lives inside, if we can't connect that to our actions, then those actions can feel meaningless and empty. So we're going to work on connecting the body and the heart and introduce this question of, am I living my life fully? Which can be challenging given the circumstances of the last year especially. So let's start with, we're going to lie on our backs and we'll do some Pilates style exercises to just get some mobility in the neck and the chest. So you can lie on your back, and if you have room to do snow angels, that's great. With the arms, they'll be going up and down on the floor. If there's limited room around you, just put your hands on your shoulders to do the same movements. And you can have your knees bent if that works for you, or straight. You decide what's going to feel best for you. But first, feel your back on the floor. Shrug your shoulders down away from your ears. So just slide them down. And then bring your arms out to your sides or bring your hands to your shoulders. And as you inhale, reach those arms, just drag them up toward your head. And as you exhale, slide them back down like little chicken wings if you have your hands on your shoulders like I do. Otherwise, you'll have your palms on the floor and you'll slide your fingertips and arms up overhead and then back down. Connecting the breath, so inhaling as you reach up and exhaling back down. And do a couple more. And then bring your hands toward the ceiling, so your wrists are lined up over your shoulders and your palms are facing each other, but they're not touching. They're just stacked. The wrists are stacked over the shoulders. And you'll reach for the sky or the ceiling, reach without shrugging the shoulders, so keep them out of your ears and spread those shoulder blades apart like you're going to touch the ceiling, and then sink the arms back into the sockets as if you're going to squeeze a pencil or pick up a pencil with your shoulder blades behind you on the mat, really activating the muscles between the shoulder blades. As you inhale, reach and spread the shoulder blades. Exhale, sink those arms back into the sockets without bending the elbows. You want to keep the elbows straight and have all of this movement in the shoulder girdle itself. You can pause with both arms up and start to alternate. So reach more with one arm and then sink it back down, and then reach with the other arm. And notice the difference when you isolate one side to the other. Keep breathing. Let's do one more set. Good. And then let your arms float down by your sides. We'll release the neck now. So lift the right arm over your head. At the same time, turn your head to the left. So you're going to look away from your armpit, right? And breathe. As you exhale, bring the hand back down and look straight ahead. When you've completely gone through that movement, change sides. So inhaling, left arm up as you look over the right shoulder. And exhaling everything back to the starting position. So I want you to try to link your breath, a full inhale with this range of motion. Feeling a stretch in the neck as you get to the edge of the range of motion. And then emptying out the lungs, time it so that when the hand is down by your side, the lungs are empty. Nice and slow. There is no rush here. There's nowhere to be, nowhere to get to. Seeing if you can bring all of your intention and awareness to this one movement on each side.
Let your hands rest by your sides for a moment. And just tilt your head from side to side, shake it. Side to side. Good. And then hug your knees into your chest and just stretch out the lower back, rock from side to side. So we'll continue with some spinal mobility from this position. Bring your feet back to the floor and close to your butt, and fingertips to the frontal hip bones, and make an effort to keep your knees as still as possible as you do some pelvic tilts. So as you arch your lower back, creating space between that and the floor, your knees will stay relatively stable. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone just a little bit and activate your core. You're going to feel like your abs are getting tight, like you're going to do a crunch. Keep your butt on the floor though. Inhaling, arching, exhaling, pressing the lower back into your mat. So we're just bringing some flexibility, movement, lubrication to the lower back here. At the same time, we're saying good morning to those abs in a nice gentle way. Good. Let's do one more. See how smoothly you can execute this movement. And then pause at center. Now your hands are on your frontal hip bones, and I'd like you to bring them inside of those just a bit to the soft tissue of your lower belly. And a couple of weeks ago, we practiced accessing the transverse abdominis. So it's the corset, the deep abdominal corset. That's deep to all of those surface abs that people like to try to aim for, you know, those six packs, whatever. So these are very important. The abdominis, transverse abdominis is so important. So we want to access that before we do any core work. So as your fingertips are inside those frontal hip bones, just clear your throat, just do a little and just feel everything activate underneath your fingers. So that activation is what you want to engage on your own. So now see if you can create that activation without needing to clear your throat. If you pull your belly button in close to your spine first and then activate, you'll feel these little muscles maybe popping up or feel some movement under the fingers. So you want to keep that activation as we move through a couple of core exercises. Okay, so if you want to use your block, you can. You don't need to. What I'm going to, just as an example, put the block between my thighs on the thin, skinny setting. And then I'm going to bring my knees up and my shins up. So this is already some core activation here. So I'm squeezing the block. My knees are over my hips and my shins are parallel to the floor, and the feet are also flexed. This is a tabletop posture. The closer you bring your knees to your body, the less you're going to be putting on your abs. If you're perfectly 90 degrees, you're going to feel activation already. Remember to activate the core, fire it up. Good. This might be enough for you. If you have any lower back issues and you want to protect your lower back today, please listen to your body. Only do what feels right for you. Otherwise, you'll clasp your hands behind your head. You'll cradle the back of your head, and your thumbs will point down towards your neck. And with your belly pulled in, you're going to start to lift your chest and your arms and head off the floor. And keep some space between your chin and your chest. A little tangerine should be able to fit right between the chin and the chest. Keep pulling the navel in and keep squeezing the block if you're using it. Good. So you might already have some shaking. That's totally normal. And then lower down. We're going to do a few more of these. As you exhale, engage the core. Start to lift up. Holding that little imaginary tangerine in place, you're gazing down toward your, like between the space between your thighs or toward the block. Lower down. Keep breathing. Exhale, lift up. being careful not to squeeze your head with your hands. You want to be able to see your elbows in your peripheral vision, but not be squeezing the elbows close to your head. Lower down. We're going to do one more. Maybe the heat is already building in your body. And one more, you're going to come up as high as you can. Imagine you could get your shoulder blades to lift off the floor. Squeeze your block. And lower down. Good. Go ahead and release the block if you had it. Do a little happy baby or something that feels good to release your back. Bring your knees over to one side and take a gentle twist. Twist over to the other side. And then come back to center. Squeeze your right shin towards your rib cage, and you can keep your left knee bent or you can extend your left leg. It's up to you. Just give that shin a squeeze. Always know you can use your strap if you need to behind the leg you're stretching. So I'm going to hold on to my thigh, just clasp my hands behind my thigh. If you need a strap here, you can pull that around the back of your thigh and just reach your leg up to the sky or wherever it's aiming. Flex your foot and then bring it back in, squeeze and create some compression in the hip. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. Do a couple more. Extend the leg up and start to do some ankle rotations. Get into the calf, the top of the foot. Release your jaw. Good. Hug your knee back in now. Take the clasp over the top of your knee. And then just open your leg out to the side. So it's kind of like a laying down tree position, but you don't put the foot down. You're just going to hold the shin and let that inner thigh open up. Good. And we're going to change sides. So hugging the left knee in towards your rib cage or to the outer edge of your ribs. Create some compression, give it a nice squeeze. And then hold the back of the thigh either with your hands or a strap and start to extend the leg up. And really press the heel up and away and point your toes towards your face if possible. Start to bend and squeeze everything in and extend. I want you to imagine that you're pressing into the ceiling, like you're going to try to press your foot right through the ceiling, through the wall, to the sky. So lots of activation in the heel and the back of the leg. One more. Next time your leg's up, do some ankle mobility, pointing and flexing, do what feels good. Good. Hug your knee back in. And then you can support your leg with your left hand as you bring it out to the side, getting into the inner thigh. Activating the other leg is helpful as well. It helps to just create some stability, so you can squeeze the thigh of the right leg. Breathe into the inner thigh of the left leg. Good. And then just bringing that knee across your body to release and back to center. Go ahead and hug everything in. And then turn to your side, and we're going to flip on over to our all fours. So move through some cat and cows. Noticing how the spine feels. any areas that might feel like they're moving smoothly. Maybe there's some stickier areas. Bring your left hand a little more to the center of your mat for stability and pull the navel in. So I want you to really engage everything. And then bring your right hand to your right hip. And then just practice rotating the spine and then face the chest down and then rotate, opening to the right and then back down. And then rotate to the right. Maybe lift your arm up. And then we'll thread the needle, but we are not going to lay the arm or the head on the floor. So we're going to thread the needle, go under the left arm, pull the belly in, reach, 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 out to your left, and then come back up. Open up, inhale, exhale, thread the needle, pull. You're going to exhale and pull the belly in as you rotate. Let's do one more. Good. And we're going to change sides. So the right hand comes a little more to the center of the mat. Engage your belly right away. Just keep pulling the navel in. Usually it forgets and just starts to sag almost right away. So we want to keep reminding it to engage. Bring your left hand to your left hip and just bring that elbow up to the sky as you rotate your chest to the left. And just do that a couple of times, really pressing your standing or your supporting arm into the mat. Good. Maybe this time you'll open up the arm. And as you exhale, pull the navel in and scoop it underneath your right arm. Using that right arm as support. So it's going to bend and move. And you're really strengthening it as you move through this moving thread the needle. Let's do one more. Exhale, tighten the abs, rotate. Good, and back to center. Good, open up your legs and just relax. Take a child's pose, shake out your arms, rest your forehead on the floor. The last thing we'll do here for our core, it's a little more challenging, so please feel free to modify. We'll come up to hands and knees, and you can be on your knuckles if your wrists are starting to get tired, or fingertips. And we'll extend the left leg out like a bird dog. Core pulls in, right? No sagging in the lower back. Flex your left foot, and then start to bring the left foot out to the side. Maybe you can catch a glimpse of it in your peripheral vision, and then bring it back to center, and then out to the side, back to center. Do that a couple of times. This is going to work your obliques and your core, and a lot of other things you're probably noticing. Now you can just do this a couple more times, or you can try to also lift the right arm out in front of you. And as your leg comes out to the side, your right arm is going to come out to the side too. Oh, hello. And reach. And exhale, reach arm and leg to the sides. One more time. Ooh, there's a lot going on there, yeah? Balance, focus, core. Let's switch to the other side. Right leg extends back, navel pulls in. Practice with just bringing the leg out to the side, catching a glimpse of it. And so it's going to be common to sit into your left hip and kind of get out to the side with it in order to get the leg up. I want you to imagine that your left leg is in concrete. It's not can't go anywhere. And the movement is just coming from the right leg. Keep breathing. I'm with you. And then if it feels like you want to try the challenge of lifting the left arm
and bringing it out to the side at the same time as your right leg comes out. Try that. Keep pulling your belly button up. I want you to like stitch or staple the belly button to the spine. We'll do one more. And release. Oh my goodness, shake it out. Core is awake. Core is active. All the poses, all the movement we do, everything has been turned on so that our movements can be efficient and productive. Let's go ahead and come to standing and bring your massage ball and your strap and your block or blocks just for support. So do some hip circles, just release any tension in the back and hips from those exercises. Bring your feet underneath your hips. Inhale, reach your arms up. Reach, 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 and then exhale, dive forward with a flat back. You can come to the floor or multiple blocks or one block if you need them. And just let your hands rest on something, let your head release. Your knees can be as bent as you'd like them to be. And then we're going to look up, slide the hands up the shins. You're coming halfway up to a flat back, hands to the hips and rise up. Let's use the massage ball for the foot. So start with your right foot and just iron out the bottom of the foot just to support our balance poses today. Choose one spot on the foot that needs some extra time and pause your movement, pause all movement, and let your foot melt a little bit over the ball and breathe into it. Good. Take your foot off the ball, stand with your feet parallel in mountain pose and connect to the sensations of the foot you just massaged. And when you're ready, change to the other foot. Keep breathing. Choose a spot in your foot where you can pause and imagine those muscles softening over the ball with every exhale. Good. Step off the ball, come back to mountain pose. Maybe rocking up onto the toes and back down, soft bend in the knees, just rocking forward and back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Really important to connect your breath to this movement. So your breath is the boss. So however long it takes you to inhale and exhale, you match your body to that, not the other way around. So that might make some of your rocking faster or slower than someone else in order to stay in balance. Connect into the body. Connect into the wisdom of your body. And let your hands start to settle. Good. We'll open the chest today using the straps. So bring your strap behind you with your palms facing away from you. And we can have the legs wide or narrow. It's up to you. We're really focusing on the upper body here. So I'll go sideways. So we're gonna hold on to the strap, press the hands down and open the chest and the heart. And keep the shoulders out of the ears. Pull your belly in and start to bend your knees and hinge your upper body forward and bring the strap with you overhead or wherever it lands. And feel free to keep those knees bent. And if your shoulders started to sink into the ears, I want you to actively reach the shoulders out of the ears, pull the strap kind of away from itself so you're creating tension between the right and left hands. Breathe and reach those arms back behind you. And then press into your feet to reverse that hinging, come up with a flat back. Good. Do some shoulder circles. Release your strap. We're going to take some standing poses. So our right leg will be our lead leg. Also, that's where my chair is in case I need it for a standing pose. Your blocks you're going to want on the front of your mat on the right side of your leg. So let's take a warrior two pose. So the right knee bends. You're going to intersect the front heel with the back arch. Bend that knee as much as you can. See if you can try to get in a parallel position of your thigh with your mat. When you're ready, open up those arms. Right away, pull the navel in, draw the tips of the shoulder blades together. Breathe, gaze over your right hand. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Now press into the mat with your back foot. Really feel the edge of the back foot connecting to the mat. With the belly pulled in, we'll come into side angle. So here the right arm can gently press the knee open and the left arm can reach straight up or at an angle. Keep bending the right knee. And breathe. We'll hold these a little longer than usual, connecting to the strength of our core, the heat that builds in the body, the commitment and focus it takes to hold attention. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to stay in these poses for very long. Good. So now we're going to come right into triangle pose. So this is where your block might be handy. We're going to lift the left arm back up, straighten the front knee, and just start to come down. This is where a block on the inside of the ankle or even the outside, and kind of like the outside of the ankle. Triangle pose. So I want you to think of firing up those obliques, those muscles we worked on in our, kind of like our, I don't even know what you call it. It's like a swimming, traveling bird dog pose. Breath. Okay, slight bend in that right knee as you float back up. Good, bring your hands behind you and clasp the hands if you're able to. So for this, you can keep the front knee straight or you can bend it. We're going to take stargazer pose. So reach the chest open, the heart opens, the hands reach down, gaze up. Front knee is straight or bent. Opening the heart, connecting to your own heart energy, your own love, your life force. You're going to gently release your hold with your hands and step your feet together. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, just dive forward, let it all go. Start to come up with a flat back. We're going to move our blocks over to the other side of the mat, or if you're facing front, that won't affect you. But we're going to keep it where our front foot is going to be. So the left knee now is our leading knee for warrior 2 on this side. So flat feet, edges press into the mats. Front femur or thigh bone is trying to get parallel to the floor. Pull the belly in, open up those arms, gaze over the left arm, and breathe. Notice if your left knee is caving in toward the big toe, and if it is, activate your left glute muscle and press the knee toward the little toes. Side angle, reaching them up or at an angle, so really creating this nice long line between the right outer ankle and the right fingers. Rotating the chest forward and up. From here, triangle, so you can gaze down, start to straighten the front knee. Maybe your block is there for support. And right arm reaches straight up. Pull the belly in and think of lifting yourself just ever so slightly toward the sky, and you're going to activate the obliques here. Squeeze the thighs. Good. Bend the front knee a little bit. Come back into your warrior 2. Stargazer. Bring your hands behind your back. Clasp your hands. Choose your positioning of your left leg. And open the heart. Gaze up. And release the grasp. And you're going to keep your legs wide and face the long way of your mat for Prasarita, Padottanasana, or wide-legged forward fold. So toes point forward or slightly in toward each other. You're going to squeeze your quads. So squeeze the quads so those kneecaps kind of lift up, and then hinge forward, coming all the way down to a place that feels right for you. You can use blocks if you need to. Release everything down. If you need to have a little bend in your knees to keep your back of your knees from hyperextending, that's totally fine. Breathe here. Let it all go. Jack Kornfield says, to love fully and live well requires us to recognize finally that we do not possess or own anything. Our homes, our cars, our loved ones, not even our own body. Spiritual joy and wisdom do not come through possession, but rather through the capacity, our capacity to open, to love more fully, and to move and be free in life. To move and be free in life. Kind of like the Ve'ahavta poem of being, we were set free, we were released out of Egypt so that we could know truth, so that we could open fully to life. Released from being contained, released from slavery. How do we enslave ourselves? How do we keep ourselves from living our path, living our fully enlivened, heartfelt path in life? If we don't own anything, then this breath is really all that we have, moment to moment. Go ahead and press into your hands. You're going to slowly come up. You can heel toe those feet together a little bit. And come on up. Good. So challenging ourselves with a little bit of balancing here. This is where your chair might be handy. We're going to move from Warrior 3 to a Stork Pose. So I guess I'll face that direction. So we're going to stand on the left leg and lift the right knee. And as you do that, I want you to really pull in on that core first, so you feel like your core, your psoas, those hip flexors are really all working together to lift the knee. So here's your Stork Pose. You're standing on that firm left leg, squeezing the leg muscles there. Bring your hands behind you, palms face, turn the thumbs up toward the sky. So you've got external rotation in the shoulders, opening the heart. With your belly engaged, I want you to start to tip forward and start to kick your leg back behind you. So this is, if you need a chair, you would use an arm or maybe reach out in front of you, but see if reaching behind you with your arms out to the sides is helpful as well for balance. And start to tip forward in Warrior 3, and then keep moving. So as soon as you get to Warrior 3, you're going to start to come back up and then lift the right knee again. Good, and then release. Shake that standing leg out. We'll use our right leg as the standing leg, lifting with the core to bring the left knee up. Reach back behind you, thumbs up, heart open, grounded in your mat, grounded into the earth. And then start to hinge forward, kick your leg back behind you. Gazing at something on the floor or in front of you that's not moving. Keep breathing. As soon as you come into your Warrior 3, start to reverse your movement as smoothly as possible, bringing the knee back up. And release. Good, let that go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Let it all go. You can hold on to opposite elbows. Rock from side to side if that feels good. Good, and then go ahead and come down to your seat. Bring your feet together. You can use blocks under your knees if you need to. We're going to tilt the chin toward the chest and just melt over the lower body. Just melt over the body. This is also a great place to stack blocks and put them under your forehead or under whatever part of your head works. So just taking a restful Baddha Konasana. Releasing the jaw. And then using your hands to press you back up. We're going to do a seated meditation before Shavasana. We may or may not take this as our Shavasana. We'll see how it goes. So you can have a seat on your block or on a chair. So I'm going to combine some self-compassion holds for the body, which are very comforting and therapeutic. A way to bring self-love, self-compassion, and friendliness to ourselves. And we'll combine it with the loving-kindness meditation, which has its roots 2,500 years ago in Buddhism and probably a lot of other places too, right? So, but it's very old, it's very effective. And we're going to combine the two to just really infuse ourselves with loving kindness, to build compassion, to soften the heart, which can get hardened through all of these challenges and traumas in life. So the first loving kindness mantra is, may I be filled with loving kindness. So bring your left hand to your heart and then your right hand over. So the left hand goes on your chest first. And just saying the words, may I be filled with loving kindness. Breathe into that and say this a few times. May I be filled with loving kindness. Bring your right hand to your belly and leave your left hand on your heart. May I be well. Breathe into this wish, may I be well. Bring your lower hand up to your forehead. So now the left hand is still on the heart, the right hand is on the forehead. And feel that there. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be peaceful and at ease. Bring the hand from your chest to behind your head. So now you're cupping the base of your head with the left hand, and still you have your right hand on your forehead. So you're just holding your head tenderly, gently. May I be happy. May I be happy. Bring your hands again to your heart, left hand first, right hand on top. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. One hand to the belly. May I be well. May I be well. Right hand to the forehead. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be peaceful and at ease. Hold the back of the head along with the front. May I be happy. May I be happy. Feel free to either move to your back for a traditional Shavasana for a few moments, or stay seated working with these mantras and holds. If you forgot what we did, listen to your intuition. Say what you need to say to yourself. Hold yourself the way you need to be held. Know that there is nothing within you that cannot be held by love. There is nothing in your life, no circumstance, that cannot be held by loving awareness. That you are that. If you aren't already seated, I invite you to slowly make your way up to a seated position. Take all the time you need. When we truly hold ourselves and love ourselves and extend that loving kindness, that chesed, and when we extend it inward to ourselves and we fill up, then we are able to truly offer that to others. So today, for closing, I invite you to bring your hand to your heart and then bring your right hand or your other hand outward toward your fellow yogi practitioners and perhaps to others in the world right now that you're thinking about. And we'll end with, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May it be so. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Shalom.